Today we're making gluten-free pumpkin pie. And this one's extra special because we're using cacao pumpkin spice shroomed blend. Start by baking your pie pumpkin in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes. Scoop out all the seeds. We'll use those later and roast them. And once you have the seeds out, we're going to scoop out that pumpkin meat into a bowl. All that goodness. I can smell it. So we're just going to add that pumpkin meat into a food processor with some coconut milk and 2 eggs. Blend that up. If you wanted to make it vegan, you could do chia seed eggs. Also 3/4 cups of coconut brown sugar. Blend that filling nice and smooth. Then we're going to add our cacao pumpkin spice shroomed blend, 1 tablespoon. This has cacao and 14 medicinal mushrooms plus pumpkin spice herbs. It's so good and makes life way easier in the kitchen when I'm trying to bake anything pumpkin spice flavored. Once we got our filling set, we're going to start with the crust. Add about 1 1/3 cups of flour to a bowl. We want to make sure we sift it in so there's no clumps. And once we've sifted our gluten-free flour, we're going to go ahead and do about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt mixed in as well. And then stir it up. Get everything well mixed. You should have your oven preheated at 400 right now too. All right, now we want to chop up our cold butter. So we have an extra flaky crust. If you didn't want to use butter, you could use coconut oil instead. But we just want to make sure either way it's nice and cold. Mix it in with the flour. And then once you mixed it pretty well, get your hands in there and mix it up even more, making a nice rough puff pastry here. And once you've got a nice crumbly mixture, we want to start getting it more doughy by adding cold mineral water. It's very important. We only do a little bit at a time. Start with a teaspoon. I'm a little more comfortable with this recipe, so I just went for a splash, but it can very easily get too wet, so make sure you do just a tiny bit at a time, just until the dough forms together in a nice ball. Perfect. Now we want to let it chill in the fridge for about 5 to 15 minutes before we roll it out. Go ahead and grease up your pie pan with either butter or coconut oil. And go ahead and start rolling out that crust. I like to roll my crust between 2 pieces of parchment paper. I found that to be my favorite method. Comment below a method that you prefer, or if you've tried this method and you like it as well. And get your pie pan, put it on top of the pastry, flip it over. Use a silicone mat there to slide underneath and it works like a charm. Go ahead and get that crust adhering to your pie pan. Shape it however you like. You can go for a simple design like I did in this pie, or you can go more complex and get some ribbons around the edges, whatever you're into. Most importantly though, you want the crust to be even all the way around and at the bottom. And once the crust is done, we're going to poke some holes with a fork and then fill with the filling. Excellent. Ooh, look at that. All right, carefully put your pie in the oven, and after about 40 to 55 minutes, you want to take it out and let it cool for 2 hours. Top with your Cool Whip and